Chances are, you have heard of The Witcher, whether it be from the Netflix show or from the best-selling video game franchise. The same company that created the Witcher series made Cyberpunk 2077, an entirely open-world game placed far in the future where everything that could be customizable is customizable. Let's begin. May 2012. 1 month after the release of The Witcher 2 Enhanced Edition, one of CD Projekt's co-founders announced that they've started working on Cyberpunk.
Announced that we are working on a Cyberpunk game.
With the new game came a new team entirely separate from their Witcher team, starting out with 50 people. It was clear that instead of playing it safe and solely working on The Witcher 3, they were going to turn a pen and paper RPG into a AAA hit on PC and console. Quick refresher. In a pen and paper RPG, players make choices for their characters based on speech. If you've ever heard of Dungeons & Dragons, that's what it is. Sometimes you'll hear them being referred to as a tabletop RPG, but they mean the same thing. The original version of Cyberpunk came out in 1988 as a pen and paper RPG. This same game caught the eye of CD Projekt Red. The studio hired Michael Allen Pondsmith, the creator of the original Cyberpunk, as a consultant to help them build an open-world version of his game. He's even actually in the game itself, playing a minor role.
I wanted to take it to the future, and where I took it was Cyberpunk. What I loved was the fact that it was a combination of dystopian society, a lot of technology, with this really great overlayer of almost film noir.
Once teams had been assigned and development began, CD Projekt Red decided to simultaneously upgrade their internal engine to Red Engine 3, which would focus more on building an open world. This investment made a lot of sense for them since it would directly help both the Witcher and Cyberpunk teams make their games as stunning as possible. January 10th, 2013, the world gets their first look at Night City. And although the game was delayed 3 times, they made it clear that the game will not be released until it is fully polished. As we get more and more used to games being pressured into deadlines, it's somewhat of a breath of fresh air to know that this game will be some of CD Projekt's best work. In an interview with a French publication, CD Projekt's lead cinematic animator revealed when development on Cyberpunk 2077 really began. Although the game was formally revealed in 2013, it was not until 2014 that, quote, the whole studio really started working hard on Cyberpunk 2077. The significance of 2014 is that's exactly when they had wrapped up development for The Witcher Edition, Hearts of Stone. Although the founders said they had split their company into 2 teams, one for The Witcher and one for Cyberpunk, it remained clear that to finish a game like this, they need the whole studio on it. The Witcher 3 came out on May 18, 2015. Following the successful release, the Polish government granted subventions of $7 million to CD Projekt Red to build out yet another generation of their internal engine, Red Engine 4. Imagine getting $7 million from your government to make a video game look better. It's a pretty awesome move from Poland. The final edition of The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine was released in 2016, officially making Cyberpunk 2077 the top priority for CD Projekt Red. In June 2017, the developers announced that unidentified persons have stolen preliminary designs of Cyberpunk and were holding them for ransom. They stole from the wrong guys because the developers said firmly that they would not give in to their demands, especially because the files that they stole were outdated and didn't represent what Cyberpunk 2077 would really look like. Exactly a year later, we got our very first look into Cyberpunk gameplay, a gameplay trailer and an official introduction to Night City at a surprise premiere at Xbox E3 2018. With the excitement mounting, CD Projekt Red announced the opening of a brand new studio in one of Poland's most technically savvy cities. Although the news of the office didn't come with any information about gameplay, it was obvious that CD Projekt Red wanted to give as many resources as they could to further Cyberpunk development. With the successful announcement at E3 previewing V and Night City, CD Projekt became one of the 20 largest companies in the Warsaw Stock Exchange. By the end of the year, Cyberpunk had already won over 100 awards. In complete secrecy, CD Projekt began implementing star actor Keanu Reeves into their game. I say secrecy because they actually used a code name, Mr. Fusion, to make sure that the announcement at E3 the next year was a true surprise. Mr. Reeves requested that his screen time be doubled and recorded his lines in 15 days. Last year, Nvidia partnered with CD Projekt to achieve ray tracing in full time. If you don't know what ray tracing is, it's essentially a rendering technique to realistically track light. Now, the moment that made everyone talk about this game. Keanu Reeves announces that he'll be playing one of the main characters in Cyberpunk. It truly was a surprise as Keanu Reeves delivered his short speech and the famous "You're breathtaking" line back at a fan.
The feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future, is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
Johnny Silverhand will look and sound exactly like Reeves, as if this game couldn't get even more hyped.
Samurai, we have a city to burn.
Unfortunately, in 2020, well, saying something is unfortunate in 2020 is kind of just like saying the sky is blue, but Cyberpunk has been delayed for a grand total of 3 times. April 16th, it was announced that CD Projekt needed more time to do gameplay testing, fixing, and polishing. On September 17th, they announced that they needed additional time to balance the game and fix bugs. On October 5th, the game had gone gold, which means it's ready to play from start to finish. November 19th, they said they were having compatibility issues and had to test 9 different versions of the game, like Xbox versus PC and PS4 versus PS5. The new release date is December 10th. For all those eager and anxious about the release date, chances are you've complained about a bug in a game. These delays are to ensure you don't have those complaints. Stay safe, and I'll see you for more Cyberpunk content.